episode of Without Your Permisión.
Without your permission, new episode.
Very new episode, live.
So, Richard Cabral.
And I'm Jose Arellano. And we have a special guest tonight. We
Yes,
have a
we
couple
do.
special guests tonight, but a guest that we want to introduce right now.
So, I mean, but
you want,
look, we're not sponsored by nobody,
no,
right?
but if you want to
But-
give us free stuff, we'll take it.
So the thing for me is like, it's a bunch of people coming together with a purpose.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to reach out for sponsors because we're capable of doing what we're doing on our own right now.
Because we're doing
But
it regardless.
Regardless.
Yeah.
You know, we're not asking nobody. So anyhow, but there's people that are doing great things in the
And
neighborhood.
we appreciate what they're doing.
Yeah, and there's not a lot. I wish there was more, but like when there's people like this, you have to give credit where credit is due.
Exactly. Real recognize real.
I mean, I was gonna put this coffee shop on blast anyways, but I was there right here in Boyle Heights, and I was like, you know what, dude? Like, I'm gonna mess it up. Just come through. So I'm gonna introduce Angel from Primera Taza on First Street, and come in, bro, and
I'm gonna
just
kick
you
it
know,
off
go
just
ahead.
like that.
Yeah, welcome, and yeah, just I'm grateful that
How's
you're
it
here.
going, guys? My name's Angel Aguilar, lead barista from Primera Taza.
Right.
Just thank you again for having me on without your
Thank you
permission.
for being
Right.
here.
Just, you can follow us on Instagram, Primera Taza, and on Google. We're always posting, the new stuff we're doing. Main thing we're doing is importing quality coffee from Mexico, roasted in Mexico, direct trade.
And you guys are there, right? You guys go, right?
Yeah, so Chuy Tovar, the owner, he drives up about every weekend or
Yeah.
sometimes twice if we run
Damn.
out of coffee. We get freshly roasted coffee, no more than 7 to 12
And what part of
days.
Mexico are you guys getting the coffee beans from?
Oaxaca, Veracruz. We're getting a micro lot from Michoacan, which is an all-woman owned and operated farm. That's like one of
right. And what people
VIPs.
don't know, because we have viewers from everywhere, that this is Boyle Heights, bro.
Yeah, this is Boyle
This
Heights.
is Boyle Heights, and a lot of
Mariachi
like,
Plaza
yeah,
right there.
Mariachi Plaza. And what's happening in Los Angeles is a lot of people are moving in, and the whole gentrification has been happening
Yeah.
in these communities, Silver Lake, Echo Park, Boyle Heights now. But I think the biggest thing for me is like how you guys you guys are sticking to the roots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You guys are still about the locals.
Yeah,
you guys are
yeah.
still about
No, definitely.
empowering the community like
Yeah,
that, right? That's why.
sure.
That's one of the reasons why I love you guys.
Awesome, yeah.
And
Yeah.
you guys also have, you were telling me about the poetry and there's other things
Yeah,
that go
but
on
let
there,
them. But
right?
go hit the menu first
Okay, hit
because
the
not-
menu.
Yeah.
All right,
Because
so-
that's the most important part of it.
yeah, I whip
Yeah.
out the pellet part of it. So it's
Okay.
really good coffee.
Mm.
We do pour overs. We do espresso.
Mm.
We follow the traditional Italian drinks. We don't compromise. And then we got a sandwich that we import from Guadalajara,
Yeah.
which is a birote salado. That's the lonche. So Chuy Tovar brought that in a couple years back, and that got on Vice Munchies. You see that on I believe on OC Weekly. Then I know that it came out on Vitamin D,
Right.
on Food
What's
GPS.
in the sandwich?
It's our number one seller is
one.
gonna our number one seller is gonna be the pork loin lonche. So that's the bread, Mexican crema, pork loin, pickled jalapenos, tomato, onions, and avocado, and then the secret
Like,
sauce.
it's like on a bolillo?
Yeah, it's on a bolillo, but there's a torta, then there's a semita, and they're not the same. And then
What's
you got
the
the
difference
lonche.
between the semita and the
It's
torta?
from a certain region of Mexico. Plus, también it's different ingredients they're usually putting in,
Right.
different assemble. And so it's the same kind of concept. So this is from Guadalajara,
Mm.
and in Guadalajara, if you call it a torta, they get mad. They're really prideful about it. It's like that.
Like, that's what they used to call my shoes when I was growing up. Tortas. They used to like stick
Blow
on the
up?
sides. Yeah.
All right. So
Nice.
we got
So-
that. So that's on
we
here.
got that, yeah.
All right. Great. And then so you mentioned the coffee, right?
So yeah, we
and
got
then
the coffee.
Café de olla, right?
Lunch of the Café de Olla.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's what I go
Yeah.
in there
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
That's a-
Fire, bro.
How come you haven't
Old school
taken me,
recipe
dog,
right
to
there.
this place? I
Uh-oh.
mean,
Go
you
ahead,
know what I mean?
go
Like,
ahead.
what's going on? Did you
No,
bring any
yeah.
coffee with you?
I didn't
So
actually.
I can use a
yeah.
cup right now.
So yeah, the Café de Olla, cacao, cinnamon, cloves,
Cacao. That's the
peon-
chocolate, right?
Yeah, Pioncillo, organic Pioncillo, which in English cane jaggery. It's a superfood. If you Google it,
And that doesn't have no added
No,
milk to
bro,
it, huh?
bro. Yeah.
No,
that's
yeah,
just
it's
righteous
pure,
Traditionally,
bro.
chocolate.
It's pure, yeah.
just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm on right
Some
now.
people
because
mess it
I'm
up with
vegan.
milk, but
For those of
Yeah.
you that don't know, serio though, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I'm vegan, so I
Yeah.
don't
So
eat.
he's all
We have.
clean now.
I just
and-
made a vegan lonche, so we're gonna start whipping that
that
out
right?
soon. Yeah.
Like
Oh,
on a
we're going-
bolillo?
yeah.
Yeah, on a bolillo. Yeah, that's gonna be coming out
Damn.
soon.
We're going, bro. We want to be
Yeah.
your like one
I
of
don't
your
have the
first-
vegan lonche yet. I put it out for a
Can
week.
we document that? Like, I want to be the
Yeah,
first
it's
one
on
to
the
eat
online
that
me-
sandwich, though.
It's on the online menu. So I had it out for a week at the coffee shop,
Yeah.
but just sourcing the tempeh is the hard part.
Mm.
And so I'm trying.
What's tempeh?
It's a sprouted soybean.
Yeah, I ate it. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
So
My
it
wife
doesn't
makes
have
that.
estrogen. It
Yeah.
doesn't fuck with guys and all that. Oh,
Yeah.
what am I supposed
No,
to say?
you're good. You're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
because-
cut.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, it doesn't mess with guys, so it's sprouted soybean. So
Right.
it's actually
right. So
digestible
you guys
for
are in
men
it,
and
bro.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So people were
Damn.
asking for vegan, gluten free. So I
Right.
made an amaranth pudding,
Mm.
coconut cream, amaranth, agave. So still keeping it with
You guys are
indigenous
killing
grains.
it, bro. Like this is the
Damn,
only
dog.
spot in Boyle Heights, and like that's my biggest thing, bro. Like empowering our community, you know,
Yeah.
because like it's mind, body, and
Yeah.
spirit. And if
Yeah.
you do not have the foods, then like your community is still suffering like that,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So like
A lot of people,
dude, like,
a lot of people were asking for vegan, gluten free. So I went with amaranth, indigenous grain. You know,
mm.
I was like, all right, gotta keep it back to the roots and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
No, that's good. Staying
Well, thank
grounded.
you, thank
No,
you
staying
guys, man,
grounded,
and like
definitely.
again, like thank you for coming, bro. Like and then before you leave, then beyond that though, you guys
So-
you got the poetry, right?
So beyond that, one of the things when I came to the coffee shop was to bring, you know, an art event, open mic. So
Right.
it's called
Okay.
Body the Artist. We got an Instagram for that too. We're gonna start introducing workshops in the morning, which is gonna be donation-based meditation classes by certified yoga
Damn.
teachers.
That's good.
Yoga, alternative healing, so Reiki, more than 100 years old,
Right.
traditional healing. Then in the afternoon, 6 to 11, we got Canitas and Momo posting up in the front. This year's Vespi Cup winner, also from Boyle Heights.
Wow.
So they're doing big things. And then we got DJ, 2-hour open mic, featured
Damn,
bands,
yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
vendors,
dog.
live painting,
right,
henna.
right, yeah.
and all
Can
that.
you
Gang.
can you let our viewers know, like all the Instagram places
all-
to
it's
find
all-
you,
Yeah,
everything?
so-
yeah,
For the coffee shop, Primera Taza on Instagram, always posting when we got new. For the art event, Barrio de Artes, that's all on Instagram too.
Good. Well, thank you, man.
Thank you
and
guys.
just so you guys know, if you mess with one bean, you get the whole burrito, and by that we mean coffee beans.
I like it. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
All
bro.
right, dog. Thank you
Alright.
for being here.
Yeah,
homie.
yeah. All right.
Have a good one, G. All right.
Mr. Jose Gonzalez.
Jay Gonzalez.
Jay Gonzalez.
Welcome to the show, dog.
Jay
And we're gonna
Fusion.
kick it off just like
Not
that.
Jose. Jay. I just,
So we had.
it's not Jose. It's really not.
Is it
Yeah, it's not Jose.
Jose?
Yeah. No,
It's
but
not.
Jose
It's just Jay.
and Jay.
I'm Jose. Jay.
Yeah.
Two
Okay.
J's in
So
it.
today, we're gonna talk about fatherhood.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about fatherhood.
Yeah.
So we had some of the audience, requested that this is a subject that we touch,
Right.
and we're more than happy to be able to talk about this
Yeah,
tonight.
and how I mentioned in the post that we're engaged with our audience, bro.
Yeah.
That's what it was about. It was never for us to bark and tell people what our thoughts are, what our philosophy
Yeah.
is. It was to be engaged, and we did our half of the deal, and you guys did your half of the deal.
Yup.
So now we're gonna meet and make something happen. And so bringing Jay over here is not only are you my dear friend, but like you're
also a part of this podcast.
you're also a part of this podcast, a huge part of this
Huge
podcast.
part.
This podcast would not be happening
if
if
it wasn't for you. So can you lace up the audience and let them know exactly like what you do and how we're all connected and you know how we're doing this podcast together?
Yeah. So yeah, basically I'm a certified pro audio engineer, so I handle basically the editing side, so everything, the
Right.
original backgrounds for music and all that.
Right.
But
Producing music.
He's the reason why
musicians.
my voice sounds like Barry White.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I'll do all the audio editing, so I could do all of that.
Yeah. The intro song is produced by.
By Caleb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
shout
it's
out to
it's
Kev.
it's that family like that, you know, and like just blessed to, you know, we've been working with each other since you were a kid, bro.
I know.
I met you as a kid, right?
Yeah.
What, like you 17, 18 years old? Like 9 years ago, right? So yeah, so we're continuing, but the reason why you're on here today, another plus, is because you're a father, bro, and like I was only right to bring men on this podcast that were fathers, you know what I'm saying, and that could really talk about this experience. And it's just like you could hear it from one person, it was just one person. You could hear it from whatever, but like, there's three of us, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like I have like just talking to us as, you know, as being fathers, like we all kind of have similar experiences, and that's why we're here to just give you our experience, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
I think that's what's important is that
Right.
we do all three have different experiences,
Right.
As far as being a father, and maybe even our experiences is what our father figure was like in our lives.
Right.
And so it's best that we have different perspectives,
Right.
so that we can be able to put the best perspective out there to our audience.
Right. Because this is for the community, you know, and it's for the community that doesn't have a voice like that. And there's a lot of young fathers out here, you know. There's a lot of fathers that people that were fathers before they even really knew what a father was, you know, or people that became fathers when they never had a father, you know. And that is all of our friends, you know what I'm saying? That is all of our cousins and relatives. So I think we're breaking a cycle, you know, and it's a huge thing, like, and but people don't talk about it, you know what I'm saying? Because like it's really a layered subject, and we don't have all the right thoughts. But I think knowing you guys personally is that we're striving for greatness, and we put our money where our mouth is, you know what I'm saying? And we move with intention. And I think I could say both of you guys are amazing fathers, and that's a huge thing, you know?
Thank you, dog. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because especially for like where we come from, it's kind of normal to grow up without a dad.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Without
kind
a
of
dad,
normal to grow up with a father figure that's in and out of jail,
Yeah.
or a father figure that, you know, now we look back and we go, damn, that shit wasn't right.
Right.
You know, the way
Right.
some of the men in our lives carried themselves, or
Right.
the way they treated women.
Who kicked this off though? Before I wanna, because this is a specific person that kicked this off on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he asked, you know, so I wanna, you know, just give him his
Shout
yeah,
out.
give him a shout out like that, you know, and thank him for speaking his heart. But
Yeah.
he was speaking his heart, but in speaking his heart, he spoke the heart of, I believe, of thousands.
And he spoke to our hearts
Yeah,
because
because
just
I
knowing
said
the both of you-
I sent that to you, bro, and I was
Yeah.
like, hey,
Like, let's
oh,
do this.
Yeah, let's do
because
this.
this is important to us.
What's his name? Huh?
Raising Elias. So thank
Raising
you, Raising Elias, for
Yeah.
reaching out like that and asking us to talk about a subject that is something that's dear to our hearts, and hopefully it's dear to our viewers' hearts.
Right. Does he have why he hit us up in the first place, Ali? Right. 24. Mm. Yeah. Right.
So if they couldn't hear us, running back, what
Well,
she
so
kinda
I mean,
said, break
so
it
he
down.
pretty much has a 3-year-old son, and is just struggling, just trying to, I guess, maintain just being a father right now,
Mm-hmm.
being a young man of 24 years old and having a 3-year-old child. So
He
that
wants
was
us to kick it off like that.
Yeah.
So I think we should just get right into it with Jay and just kind of like, I guess one of the first questions I would ask you is, what was it like growing up, and what type of if you had a dad in your life, if you didn't, or what type of male role models did you have in your life, and what was that like?
Oh man, like you said, it was basically a cliche. Came from a broken home. My mom, and my dad separated when I was like 3.
Mm.
I did have a stepdad who was with my mom for a lot of years, but it was just kind of a weird situation because even though he was supposed to be like the dad and the main like head of household, how it would traditionally be, it was mainly my mom
Mm.
because my stepdad was like, you know, he was from Mexico. He was what they called a jornalero, so he used to chill like for a Home Depot. That was the only way he could get the job.
Right.
So he was you know, he was nice. I can't say like it was opposite from your experiences with the stepdads.
Right,
He was
right.
nice, but it was at the same time it's kind of like he didn't do much. There wasn't nothing for me to really look up to or anything. I would rarely see my real father because I know he did attempt. Now that I'm older, I realize he did attempt to see me.
Right.
But I understand that my mom gave him a hard time. But he didn't try hard enough all the way to where he could have.
Right.
So that was kind of, to this day, still kind of like a shaky relationship. Right now, as an adult, mainly my fault. But because I know he still tries to like
Right,
reach out
right.
to me, and I'll still go over and see him. But still, because of the way it was when I was younger, still, you know, traumatized, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I don't really think it's our fault, bro. I just think that like we sometimes have to let the healing work how the healing works, you know? Like let the trauma like shit happen, you know? And and we have to work through that. We can't just snap our fingers and pretend that it didn't happen and just get right to it. Like, oh, everything's fine. Like,
Because it's not.
because it's not. Yeah.
And-
So
and-
would you say that not helped you, but gave you the philosophy when, because you're a father and you're Jojo, right? Yeah. You're and he's how old?
8.5.
He's 8.5. And so, like, do you think where you're at as a father right now is the same father that you were when he barely came into this world?
No, I would say I'm a lot better now because you can't. I don't think you could fully be prepared for something like that. It's just something you gotta like learn as it goes along.
Right.
So when I was young, obviously I was excited. When he first came, when I first held him for the first time, I started crying. It was like the craziest feeling ever.
Yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean?
yeah.
But it was scary in the same time because I was basically a baby, having a baby.
Yeah.
But in the same time, I'm glad it happened because he basically, I started getting my shit together after that.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it took for me to start like shifting my life away from the negative and just like really try to do something.
Yeah.
Because now I have someone to take care of and I had to support him.
Right.
So
Was it difficult in the beginning?
Oh yeah,
Why?
it was very because at that time I was like I was a high school dropout, so it was hard to get a job. It was difficult because at that time that's when my mother was sick as well. She was like in and out of the hospital, and that's when she was like first the illness got really bad before she passed away.
Right.
But so it was difficult, and then in the same times the most difficult part was that unfortunately his mother and I split right before he turned 1 because I was pretty much unhappy in the relationship.
Right.
And then after so it was difficult because when I decided to leave, to her it was like, oh well, you can't see him. So I wanted to be a father, and I had like all this love inside to give to him, but I couldn't because she wouldn't allow me to see him.
Right.
And what was that like, dog?
That was like extremely difficult because one, we're teenagers.
That's a common thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so
ahead.
it's even harder because first of all, we're teenagers.
yeah.
So you already know when you're really young age like that, like you're immature as it is.
And you're emotional than a
Yeah.
motherfucker. Yeah.
So it was just really difficult. It would be to a point that thankfully I was in a good place. I was cool with their whole family. I just wasn't cool with her because we were arguing.
Right.
And so luckily it hit a point where I would have to hit up the grandmother because she would babysit my son like a lot. And she was so nice that she would allow me to see him because she was glad that I was trying to be a dad to my son. Because even at that, even when I left her, like I wasn't making money, I had no job, but like the little money I did give, I would give to her.
Right.
So I was trying to help in every way that I could. So I'm lucky in that sense that she allowed me to see him behind her back. But obviously, as he got older, it got really difficult because my son was all excited. He'll be like, oh, mommy, like my dad. I saw my dad today and he did this. And she'd be like, what? What do you mean you saw your dad?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was difficult because then she started getting into arguments with her mom.
What do you think? How'd you like moving in a positive way? Like while all this shit was happening, like all this stress. Were you stressed out at that time?
Yeah, very.
So with all the stress, all the shit that was happening in your mind, what was something that, and I think that because this is something that our fathers would want to know, and especially like our young father of 24, like I think he needs something. We need something to hold on to keep on pushing. And what was that for you?
Man, it's just really, it's hard because there's no, for example, for the situation that he's saying, like, I don't think there's an exact answer. It's just something that you gotta, it's just one
But
of those things.
what worked with you though?
With me, it was my son.
Right.
The time that I would spend with my son because I didn't have that growing up.
Yeah.
Because I would be out in the streets instead. So to me, it was different because I didn't have that kind of love. With my son, I do.
Yeah.
And you really wanted to do that for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a difficult time. You know what I wanna go into is because of the career that you have right now. And
Right.
I wanna go into how did you balance chasing your dream and trying to be a dad to your son,
Right.
especially when
That's
you're talking
huge.
about the
It's huge.
financial situation. Just tell us what that was like, dog, and how you persevered through that situation.
That's super difficult to this day because that would have to be thanks to my mom because you know, my mom was the type of person that it is what it is. Like, for example, if the rent goes up, you could either cry about it, but it's not gonna change the fact that your rent went up. You just gotta deal with it and keep moving forward. You know what I mean? So something that I had to do, like, it was difficult at first because obviously I had to go to school. I had to go back, first of all, and try to get my GED so I could then go to the school because I couldn't go to the engineering school without having a GED.
All right.
So I was a dropout. So I had to deal with that first. I had to go, and it was basically sleepless nights. It was just basically no excuse. If I really wanted it, I had to do it. There's no excuse.
Right. And let's talk about your community, bro, because like I was talking about this earlier. Like, I mean, we got people that live in the country. And I'm not saying there's problems in the country or in these remote places. People have challenges, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But then we have the city boys. You know, we have the big city boys, you know, and we have the in the city where shit's happening, you know what I'm saying? Where there's gangs, where there's drugs, and where there's violence. And like, I think that throws like an extra layer of like difficulties of challenges, you know? So you're coming straight out of Boyle Heights, right?
Yeah.
Boyle Heights.
East LA, then
East
I went to
LA,
Heights.
East Los Angeles, Boyle Heights.
Yeah.
And so you're having to deal with all that, right?
Yeah. So that alone was a struggle in itself.
Right.
What exactly was the struggle like? I want to know what your journey was like maneuvering. What were you maneuvering through at the time that you had your baby boy and you didn't have a job and you had to go get your GED?
Living in East
in
LA.
the neighborhood you lived in.
Yeah.
Like, what were some of the things that stood in the way of you pursuing your dream? And how'd you get through them, dog?
Man, it was everything because, you know, obviously it was tough for me to even be at home in the first place because it was difficult for my mom because my mom felt she had to play both roles, a mom and a dad.
All right.
So, like, my mom was trying to be, like, strict or try to play both roles. And you know how it is when you're a teenager, like, you get annoyed, you ain't trying to hear it. So I would just, like, leave. I would take off, like, for even weeks at a time sometimes, and she wouldn't hear from me. And I would just randomly come back. So I had to deal with trying to get to school. I had to deal with my baby mama stressing me, not trying to let me see my son. I had to deal with the streets. Like, it was all crazy. I think where I got blessed was that I realized that I wanted to do music.
All right.
So that was like an escape for me. So
Right.
like everything I was going through, I could translate all that energy I had into the music.
Damn. Right.
So
It's huge.
I think if I would have not realized that at a young age, things could have been entirely different.
Right.
But I did. So
So knowing what your purpose was,
Yeah.
knowing what you were supposed to do.
yeah, because since
Huge.
16,
Oh yeah.
since 16, I was like trying to get into the studio. Like any opportunity I got, I would do it. So my story was I used to work like
The first, because I used to do music. People that don't know, the first place
Yeah.
he recorded me was in your closet.
my closet
In your closet.
with
right?
JoJo screaming in the
Yeah.
background.
With all kinds of
Yeah, so
hangers.
no matter what.
Yeah.
It's that no matter whatness.
You really wanted to
This shit was
record.
going to happen.
And how'd you know that? Was there anything in your life, like your pops or nothing?
Well,
Did he
did-
do
yeah,
music?
yeah, that's right.
I think it
that's
was
right.
behind my
So-
dad because my
alright.
dad was in a group.
Okay.
He
That's
was
right.
in a norteño band.
Yeah.
He was the
Alright.
drummer.
All right.
Yeah.
So as a
Now
kid,
we're getting
De
to the good
corridos.
shit.
This is
Go ahead.
yeah.
some
So
narco shit right
yeah.
here.
So as a kid, even the times that I did see him, you know, my dad used to work at Pet Boys during the day. I remember, and then he used to play in the band at night. So
Yeah,
sometimes he would
yeah,
play in
yeah.
two clubs at a night. So sometimes the weekends that I would go over, it was funny because he would have to take me to the nightclubs.
Okay.
So
That's the spark right there.
yeah, so they would hide me behind the bartender and they would chill. And the bartender used to give me like free soda nonstop. So I was like drinking away at that. But
Oh,
I
man.
grew
Sparked up.
yeah,
Sugar high.
yeah. So I grew up watching my dad on stage
Okay.
with all
That's
kinds of
huge.
people like
That's huge.
dancing.
Yeah.
So the
So-
reason I asked you that, dog, is because most people don't know neither, but I did music. And trip on this, I didn't meet my dad until I was 28 years old.
Wow.
But I had heard stories. So it's a trip.
My dad's a musician too.
So is mine.
Yeah.
And he doesn't speak no English. Really,
Banda.
dog.
My dad's
and I
banda.
didn't speak no Spanish. He was banda too.
It's crazy.
And he met my jefa at a party.
As a musician.
She was a gangster, chola, at the party, and he was the band leader.
Yeah.
And they ended up, doing their thug thizzle. And then voila,
Voila.
9 months later,
Here you
I
are.
came into this world. And so that's why I was asking you, because it's like I just feel like there's things that are connected. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's trippy stuff, but there's a connection to things.
Right, right.
And if we go deep enough, and we take the time to be in that moment, then the answers will come. So there was a reason why because I wanted to do music too, dog.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I used to picture myself like doing music, and I always wanted to play instruments and stuff like that. So do you guys believe that what children see growing up, like it really matters,
How? Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How?
So
yeah.
from that experience that you had, dog, being at that bar, drinking up all that soda,
Yeah.
and watching your dad on stage, like, what did that do for you, homie? Or what did that do to you? How did that change your perspective on things?
Man, it was weird because I had like a love-hate relationship because
Okay.
obviously it was like a love-hate relationship with my dad, mainly on my end for not understanding as a kid.
All right.
Because like I said, he did try to reach out a lot. It was weird because you figure that I would like Spanish music, but I grew up hating Spanish music because of that. It would remind me of my father. It would remind me of my father. So when it would remind me of my father, it was like I would
Shut
immediately
it out.
ignore it.
Yeah.
So that's why I grew up like it's weird to people that don't like Spanish music, but that's the true meaning behind it. I just don't like
Yeah.
it because of that, because I was younger. And but in the same time, like a lot of people don't know, when I was in the 5th grade, like I used to love music. Every time I would hear it, I would sing along. I'd be like, man, I would have done this different. Like I would have ideas in my head. And then in the 5th grade, I was a Backstreet Boy in a talent show.
You're a Backstreet Boy?
Yeah, a lot of people don't
What
know
was
that.
that like? Did you dye your hair blonde?
Can we get a
nah.
picture of that, Ali?
Can we pull
I
something
think
up,
there's a
please?
taping
Yeah.
of it. Yeah, but yeah,
Did you know the dance moves?
Yeah, I had a dance and everything.
Maybe we could start a band. We didn't have it as a kid.
That's
Maybe
right.
we could do
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You
We
could be
could
the
live our
lead.
dad's dreams.
You could be the lead. Me and this fool play the bass in the back, but not the big ass bass. You know the one that sits on the stage. You gotta, boom, boom. We'll just do like some slow, and you can just get into some like psychedelic poetry. No, all right, fuck it then. My bad. I went on a viaje. Anyway,
Is that
So-
is that the reason why we're here?
I don't know.
That's-
I was thinking about. I'm
Right.
just saying it could be
Yes,
anything's
anything
possible.
is possible.
We want our audiences to dream.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And if you want to be on the stage with a big ass,
With a trippy band,
yeah, it's
message
possible.
us. I'll join your band. If you got a band or you guys are doing auditions or tryouts, I'll join your band. Anyway,
All right, come
back
on,
to the
get
story.
up in it.
So after that, you know, seeing what you saw,
Right.
and not only seeing what you saw, but feeling what you felt,
Uh,
because I had those similar feelings, dog, and I didn't like my name. I couldn't stand my name.
You know
for
what's funny?
years.
That my middle name is my father's name, and I can't stand it when people call me my middle name.
Damn, see,
To this day, it's crazy.
this is some real shit.
Mm.
Because I grew up hating my name. When I got my name from my neighborhood, that was my name.
yeah.
I would tell Vantos, don't call me that, because that's not my name. This is what you're gonna call me.
Right.
Because I was ashamed of that name because I didn't know who he was. So that's where the story gets deep at. And that's what I want to talk about, is how how these experiences shaped us and made us look at the world. So the name, going to the name, you didn't like the name. So there came a point in time in your life where you just straight up just wasn't feeling this cat then. You're just done with the relationship or what?
Yeah, I think it was more because when I was younger, I guess now that I'm older, like I said, I know my father loved me, but I guess I didn't understand it as a youngster. Because obviously, when you're growing up, that's the other thing. My dad would try not to argue with my mom in front of me,
Okay.
which was a good thing, which is a good thing I got from him. But my mom would push the issue, and it would
Okay.
happen regardless. You know what I mean? So, you know, obviously, when I would hear him arguing about stuff, it hit a point where I felt like my dad was unhappy and he didn't reach his goals because he had to pay my child support.
Mm. Yeah.
And I know he didn't mean it in a bad way, but when you're a kid, you don't hear it that way.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, and I say it's not that they didn't love us; it's that they didn't know how
didn't
to
know
love
how.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's whatever they carried.
Right.
You know?
And so for me, being a father, bro, like I didn't really meet my son till he was 5 years old when I got out of prison, you know, and like that was a trip because like what you're saying, like being there, like when my son was born, I was in jail, and I got out and I went right back to jail. And by the time I got out of prison, he was already 5. So when I got out, like I seen this little boy that I didn't know, that I wanted to know,
Yeah.
but like I genuinely did not know. So I think that was a huge challenge for me, bro. And like and there's nobody there to like tell you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a father, bro. There was nobody there like, you know, you should reach out and just be with them and just hold them or just tell them I love you. Like,
Yeah, that's the part that gets me.
that's
That's the part that gets me. I remember sitting on the stairs
like
and
how
going,
do
like, what am I supposed
how
to
do I do this? You know, and
Yeah.
and yeah, it didn't come, bro. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like my dad left when to Texas when I was a child, so that was really it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like, but when my daughter was born, you know what I'm saying? I think it's a huge thing for really being there. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're there, like during the pregnancy, just seeing your baby's moms or your wife's, you know, her belly grow, you know, bigger month by month, day by day, you feeling her kick, you know what I'm saying? Like that did something, you know, and I didn't have that did something for me and my daughter for Bella. But for my son, like I wasn't able to feel that, you know, and I think when my daughter came out, bro, and really like holding her, that one got me, bro. That one, it was just like I remember when my daughter came in the room, it's just like my breath got took away, bro. You know, and it was just like something like physically was there in this world. You know what I'm saying? That, and I can't explain it. Like did you feel like that, like when you were in the hospital? Like did something change when your baby came out?
Oh yeah, it was like it was crazy. Like I didn't know how to react. Like as soon as I remember they were pushing, she was actually quiet. It was funny because the nurses were like, "Wow, we didn't even know there's a like delivery happening right now." Because normally girls are screaming like crazy,
Yeah.
but she didn't. But it was funny because I remember when she was pushing and I saw the hair,
Ooh.
like that alone triggered like a crazy spark. I was excited as hell. And then after as soon as he fully came out and I cut the
Wow.
like the belly button, like it was just crazy. I didn't even know how to react. I just started. I was just in
Like,
tears.
no
I
one
almost passed
prepares
out,
you.
fool. Palabra, I'm not lying. I was like, what the fuck? The room started spinning. And then there was all kinds of crazy shit going on. I was like, lights were
It's like a
everywhere.
little alien.
I was
After
like,
my
what
baby
the
looked like a little
fuck?
alien, like right, all
Hey,
purple.
fool, I
and
just
slimy.
remember
You're
like,
what the
I just remember when he came out, I was like, hey, how come that Vato's not crying? Because I was like, what
you do to my baby?
Yeah, I'm like, please, dog. Like, he needs to say something, son. Son. And then it was like, wah, wah, wah. And I was like, ooh, God.
I was like the
Lord.
longest 5
Hey,
seconds
dog,
ever.
it was gonna crack off in that
yeah.
that
shit's
room,
like
homie, because
traumatizing.
palabra
They
it
don't
was.
tell. No one tells you that shit's
I
gonna
remember
happen.
like the doctor, I was like standing by because it started building up,
Yeah.
and I'm like, so this is gonna happen.
This
Then.
shit's happening right now.
And then he just doesn't want to talk to me.
Yeah,
I'm
you're like,
hey.
bro.
And he's like sitting at this desk and he's getting ready to.
Hello,
and
I'm here.
I'm like, hey, dog.
Dog.
So you're gonna do this today? Like this is gonna happen
Right now?
And he's just like, hey, I need a little bit. I need a moment or whatever. Because they had argued a little bit, him and the nurse.
Oh shit.
Because my wife got C-sections.
You're right.
So
Right.
anyway, it was like, at that point, that's when I started feeling my stomach turning.
You're like, I'm about to.
I was like, I'm gonna throw up all over this fucking surgery room right here. Serio. It was bad, dog. And it's a trip because my son, like I put my finger in the little thing and that fool went.
Ooh.
He like gripped my finger, dog. And then he stopped crying. And I was like, damn. It was FEMA though. The same thing though. Like I
Yeah.
cried. I was
Yeah.
like, damn.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a special moment, dog. It was just a special moment.
And it's like you
know?
receive that intense connection, right? Right
Yeah,
from the
quick.
jump. But then right after that, like, that's when, like,
Well, right after that, it was like she starts tripping on things, right? And I'm just like, damn, why is she tripping? Because whatever she was going through after the pregnancy,
Right.
and that was the time where I was like, I wish I would have had somebody that could have talked to me about it.
Right.
But because my pops wasn't in my life, he
And
didn't
then again,
know
like,
what it was.
and like I said from the jump, like, we're not here to, like, to knock any of the women in our lives, you know, if we're with them or we're not with them. But a lot of the mothers of our children, bro, they weren't taught right either. I mean, for me too.
I feel like I wasn't taught like how to be able to like support her
love
the way I should have in
communicate.
that time.
For me, it
but
was,
I learned though. I
Yeah.
started to learn.
Right.
And it was like trial and error.
Right.
Because I was like, damn, I didn't know emotionally how this was gonna be. Not even for me. Like what I was going through. I couldn't put my finger on it. Like some of the stuff we're talking about now, like we don't know what we're feeling until we go there and we start talking about our experiences.
Yeah.
and get real with the shit. Like, damn, this was hard.
Right.
It was hard to do. Like, it wasn't easy.
Right.
It wasn't easy because I didn't have no direction. There wasn't nothing laid out. I don't feel like we raised our children. I feel like our children raised us. Like, my children have made me mature, dog. Like, my children have taught me what life is all about.
Right.
They taught me. I didn't teach them. Like, they taught me, like, it's time to be mature. I better make sure that I pray. I better make sure that I get up. I better
Right.
make sure I'm a good example. I had to change everything.
Right.
I had to start changing the way I talk. I don't talk in front of them a certain way because I don't want them to talk like that.
I think for us, there is something that we wanted being fathers that we wanted to change how we were treated. That, like, for me, it was like I didn't want my child to go through this, you know? And what was that for both of you? Like, we were gonna raise our children. I think we thought when our children came, I'm gonna raise my child, but I do not want him to go through this. I'm gonna change the game on this.
Mine was they were not gonna be without a dad, like, no matter what. I wanted to be in their life, like,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Right.
And it was hard because the majority of my time, well, my past life, was having a relationship from prison.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like visiting, like drawings. They still have all the drawings on their wall, sending them stuff. That's what I knew, is
Yeah.
to always be like, I miss you from a distance.
Right.
But I got tired of living like that. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be in their lives present. I want to be in my children's life.
So you told yourself that no matter what, that's not gonna be me. They're not gonna get raised like
They're
that.
not going to get raised like that.
What
Like,
about for you, Jay?
Yeah, it was pretty much the same. I always swore that I would never, when I ever had a kid, I always said that if he was a boy, he was going to be named after me, which he was, and that
That's
he
right.
wasn't going to be without his dad.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to experience what I experienced.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be even therapy for me because, it's crazy 'cause we're
Right.
so close, and it's like I never had that, so it's like a whole new experience for me. Like, that
Yeah.
love is just unexplainable.
Yeah. Yeah. Same for me, bro. I mean, like I was gonna be there no matter what, And but I think the girls changed the game on me,
Yeah.
cause like having the girls like just and I've heard that like how do you want your daughter to be treated? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like and it just makes me like have a whole different perspective on it. Like, yeah, I want my daughters to be treated like a queen. You know what I'm
Hell
saying? I
yeah.
want them to be loved. And that's a big thing. Like how a daughter could just melt a father's heart.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
but
yeah.
also a son though, bro. My son is very special, and the teachings that they give you.
You know what happened for me? What I tripped out on recently is like, it's like I get to relive my childhood through my children. Like, there's so many things I could say. Like, I
Right,
vow,
right.
like, my children will never be beat, homie. My children will never go without
Right,
toilet
right,
paper.
right.
Like, you trip out, but I make sure, dog, I get the economy size toilet paper, dog. And these are some of the things they go, why you buy so much toilet paper, Dad? Because you're not gonna know what it feels like
To not have
to not have toilet paper.
Right.
You're not
right.
gonna know palabra, dog.
Yeah.
Even right now before I came,
Yeah.
there's a list. Get the bills because this house is not gonna be without lights.
Yeah.
They're not gonna know what it's like to have candles. They're not gonna know what it's like to have to go to the restroom, scary with a candle, and have to use the restroom.
Right.
I vowed for them not to ever go through that, and thanks be to God, they haven't.
Right.
And sometimes I sit in my living room, dog, and I watch them playing, and I watch them with their toys, and they don't worry, and I'm
Right.
thankful for that.
Right.
And that makes me feel good because then I get to like relive. It's like I'm living through them.
Right.
Like things I would think that I would want to do, they get to do, but I get to do it with them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you're
it's
living
like
through
I'm
that.
living
Yeah,
through them.
exactly.
And I can't explain it, but it's like this connection with them where I'm just like, damn. Sometimes I sit in my living room, dog, and I just cry, homie, because I just watch them like jump on the couch and then like jump off or like play with their toys or like even argue with each other, but then they're feeding me like 2 minutes
Right.
after.
Like healthy conflict.
Healthy. It's a life beyond my wildest dreams. Palabra. Beyond my wildest dreams, dog. And it's like, damn,
What do you guys think is something that is a challenge for young fathers or for fathers in the inner city that are struggling with like not being with the mother or just what would be like some words that you could give or like thoughts and our experiences like and how you overcame them.
Man, I would say, well, yeah, just like the kid asked, because I don't think we necessarily answered his question fully. But I would just advise him to nobody's perfect. Just take it a day at a time, and it's just like there's a lot of situations that are beyond your control, and it's just my advice would be keep yourself busy. Whatever negative energy you got going on with you, find something to put it towards that'll be in a healthy way, and just enjoy your kids. Like if there's a cycle to be broken, like if you were raised without your parents or your
That's
parents
huge.
did something that you didn't like, just break the cycle. 'Cause
Right.
after you break it, it feels great. Obviously, all of us broke the cycle. And, like it's a whole new experience when you break it.
Right.
And there's some, unfortunately, that
Continue.
yeah, they continue.
Yeah, and you can
And-
see. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would just be that, and just enjoy your kids, because as you know, life is real short, and then your kids, like, they're only one once, they're only
Yeah,
two
yeah,
once.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They grow up so fast.
That's
Like I
a huge-
remember when my
that's a
son
big
was
one.
first born. He's 8.5. He's about to be 9 in a few months. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So just take it a day at a time, and just remember everything is temporary. Nothing's permanent. So no matter how bad the situation is, it's temporary.
Right.
And after the negative, there always has to be positive. Life's just a roller coaster.
And
That's
I
what I
think
would say.
for me too, like just with my career, like money's great and we must provide, you know. But what good is if you're providing and if you're not really with them?
Yeah.
It's a
For sure.
huge thing, bro. Like money can't buy the laughs and the smiles that money's not gonna give them that, bro. Only we're gonna be able to give them that.
Yeah. It's funny because so my son, well, any of my kids, they go to birthday parties, right? And you know, so they go, hey, I want to take, and they would always say, hey, I want to buy a present for my friend, you know, for
Yeah.
their birthday. And I would always tell them, I go, your presents is their present. Okay, I'm not buying no presents for no other kids. I would say your presents is their present. And I would think about that, but it really makes sense though. Think about it. I'm not saying I'm a cheap dude. I bought some certain things here and there.
For
But what I'm
their
saying-
special friends,
I say
huh?
all that to say this, that our presence is the biggest gift
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
can give
yeah.
to our kids. Just being there.
Yeah, it's
Like
true.
being there. Just me being home changes everything.
Yeah.
And you could tell, and my wife would tell me, like, you just being here, you just talking to them, watching a movie with them. We don't have to do much. And I would say that to the audience, like, don't overthink it so much.
Just be.
but just
be.
But also don't be so hard on yourself neither.
Right, right.
And another thing too, the flip to that is to change these habits or to change these the way that we were brought up. It's not gonna be easy, I don't think.
Right, right.
But it's worth it.
Uh.
It's definitely worth it, and you gotta find those answers. You gotta be open minded and find those. I'm open to this day. Like I always try to stay open minded. Like if I see something that makes sense, or if I see like a father, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
that he's doing his thing, and I respect the way he carries himself.
Right.
I'll ask like,
How did you get there?
how'd you get there? You
Yeah.
know, what are you doing to maintain that?
Yeah.
I gotta be open to change, you know. But it's hard at times, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Like when your kids say these little funny things that they say, you know, and
Right.
it makes it all worth it. Like my son will be banging, like right now, just right before I came, he bangs at the door, boom, boom, and he goes, and I go, "What's up, Josiah? I want you. Open the door." And he has like a little accent because he's 2 only, right? And he's like getting his toy, and like bam, bam. And I'm trying to shave, like, hey, kick it, son.
Yeah.
Open the door. And then I open the door, he goes, I found you. And I'm just like, how could you be upset with that?
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
I found you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, feed man. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Mm.
Was it hard to get there? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But was it worth it? Fuck yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I would say that it's worth it, you know, when you get to certain places in your life where you can go, damn, well, man, like it's not perfect, but it's feed, man.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
And just to be easy, you know, because sometimes we could beat ourselves up.
And I think there's a lot of parents that sometimes obedience, you know, that the kids have to be
yeah.
good and they have to be a certain way. And like I look at that and I was like, okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But some people are hard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what's the point of having your child listen
Mhm.
if they fear you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They fear you. They listen to you not because out of like a loving way. They
Right,
listen to
fear.
you because out of fear, bro. And I think a lot of people get that twisted. Like, you know, your son is listening to you. You're right.
Yeah.
Because he's scared of you.
Yep. And I think that comes from frustration. That's why I always say, like, it's important that we do the work,
Right.
that we stay doing something.
But do you think that will hurts the child?
Oh yeah, it does.
Think that hurts the child?
Yeah,
think
because
it
I
does
grew
for
up.
Why?
sure. Go ahead. You want to answer it?
Oh yeah, basically because the fear for me, it was like that. Because like I said, like not to make my mom sound like a bad mom, but she used to like beat me pretty bad. So like she used to have like a very heavy voice. Like she would project like crazy, completely opposite from me. I mean, she was still a great mother, but like I said, since she felt she had to play both roles, she was very tough.
Yeah.
But eventually, that fear, I felt enraged by it. You know what I mean? So that's when I started becoming like rebelling, like not caring.
Right.
'Cause
Right.
eventually, that fear, when they get older, is gonna hit a point where
They don't care.
yeah, they really
They don't care.
and they're gonna act out some type of way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely against that for sure too.
Yeah, me too. I just
Yeah.
feel like it doesn't make the situation better.
Right. But you know, I mean, a lot of people think that, right?
Well, I think that
They're
comes
they're
from a
taught
place of
that
frustration.
frustration, but that are also taught that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their
And-
grandfather, you know, used to beat the father, so now they. Well, I mean, that's
and
how
that
it was
gets
taught.
passed down.
You
No,
know.
I get what you're saying, and that's something. That's why we got to be vigilant about what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Right.
You know, we had conversations this morning about like always like I got to do my own inventory.
Right.
Like, why am I doing what I'm doing? You know, what am I doing first and foremost, and why I'm doing it? I gotta. What's that called when you like when you like in a department and like in a business, right?
Got a clean house.
You gotta clean house for sure, but there's something that they do where they like they check up on the departments, evaluations, right? I gotta evaluate myself as a father. Serio, I
No,
gotta
it's
check
true.
myself.
It's true.
I
It's
go,
true.
okay, why am I getting frustrated?
Right.
I think like it's like the way we honor the people in our lives, it shows the space we create for them.
Right.
Like my it's funny because so we'll go somewhere, right? And we'll be driving and I go like, what do you guys want to eat? And everybody wants to eat something different. Oh, I want Chinese food. I want pizza. I want hamburgers, you know? And my wife's like, don't ask them. You know, let's just go. But I said, no, it's important that we ask them because at least then they have options. So they know that in any situation they find themselves in,
There's options.
that there's options. It's not just go with the flow.
Yeah.
It's that your voice matters. And so she gets it too. But she's with them more
All
of the
day,
time.
yeah.
She's with them all day. So it's like one of those
Yeah.
things. It's like evaluation, though. I got to, okay, I know she's with them all day. I got to understand her perspective
Yeah.
too, because it ain't easy. But I got to evaluate my approach on everything. And that even goes with like people in my life, but more than anything, my children. Because what am I if I'm not a father? If I got kids and I'm not a father or being the best father I can be, then I ain't the best anything I could be.
Right.
That's how I
right,
feel.
Right.
I feel like first and foremost, if I'm a good dad, then everything else I'm gonna be good at.
I heard this from a man, a great spiritual man, bro, and I believe in this man 110%. And he says a man does not leave his child behind,
That's right.
and that got me, bro.
Hell yeah.
That got me. A man does not leave his child behind. And I try to live by that every
Hell
day,
yeah.
you know, and I got 3 of them, you know, and it's that, bro. Like, you know, it's
it
you're
is.
talking about being a man and you're doing this, you know. Well, what about your children, though?
Exactly.
Ah,
I heard this from a vato named Memo one time. And Memo, this is some real Memo sharing, right? An older homie. I'm talking about like
you sharing where? What do
60.
you mean share?
Sharing at an AA meeting.
Okay, good. All right.
Memo gets up there. Old gangster, homie. This meeting
Yeah.
is nothing but old vatos. You know what I mean?
Cholo, veteranos.
They're drinking like motor oil coffee.
Yeah, black.
Mud,
Yeah,
black.
smoking Camel
Smoking
non-filters.
non-filters, just
Yeah,
chiefing.
fine.
They're like 70 years old,
Yeah,
coughing up a lung. But
Yeah.
anyway, Memo, he gets up and he goes to share and he goes, I could sit up here and I could tell you guys how great of a man that I am and how great of a spiritual life I have and what I'm doing to be of service to my community. He's like, but if you really want to know Memo, ask my wife and kids about Memo. They're going to tell you who Memo really is. And that's true. If you really want to know Jose Arellano,
yeah.
pull my kids and my wife to the side and ask them, what type of man is this man?
Yeah.
because they're gonna give you the real.
Right.
You know, because we can put on a show.
Oh yeah.
in front.
Everybody's
and-
good at putting on
yeah,
that show. We
and
see
so-
you though.
We see you,
Yeah.
homie. You know, take the mask off. But anyway, if we really and that always stood with me, huh? And I told him
that
that
was a
story
good
a
one.
long
That was a
time
good
ago.
one,
I
yeah.
go, this Vanto Memo kicked the most knowledge I've ever heard in a long ass time, and it was that simple. And with that, that was the end of his share. He said, "If you really want to know what type of man I am, ask my wife and children what type of man that I am." So I think about that when I go home. I think about that when I'm home. I think about that on our weekends.
Right.
Think about that even balancing out spirituality.
Yeah.
Because what is spirituality if I'm not showing my children spirituality? If I'm getting all these great gifts from God, but I'm not giving anything,
Right.
what type of father am I? So I think that's important, you know, and that's something that's always stuck with me, just like what the homie told you. That's
Yeah.
always stuck with me. It's like, but I also have to understand that I'm not perfect, but how do I fix things, you know?
And understanding that like what we teach our kids, that's that's who they are gonna be, bro. Like
Exactly.
they're gonna learn from us, you know. They're gonna be young men and men like from what we taught them.
Yeah, for sure. It's not what we say, it's what we do.
And sometimes we think like, oh, adulthood or whatever the title, 18 years old, bro. I feel that you only have your children really from when they were born to like around 12 years old, bro. Because after those years, like, I mean, you remember, bro, 12, 13 years old, like, like you're already switching, you know? So you don't have all that much time to really plant those seeds and to really build that little girl or little boy how you want them to be and able to survive in this world.
Another thing I would say too is enjoy them. Enjoy them because tomorrow's not promised.
Right.
You know? And just like, man, I got a good homie, dog, that I've been blessed to be in some tragic situations, dog. That's the truth about my life. Is I've been fortunate enough to be in some fucked up situations that helped me, that influence the way I live my life today. I got a good friend of mine who we're at work. He comes in one day and he has a call from his wife. She's at work. His mother-in-law was babysitting the baby. He comes into a meeting. I'm in a meeting. He walks in. He goes, "Hey, I gotta leave. I need a ride," because he used to travel a distance to come to work, and he used to take the train, but he really needed to get there. And I'm in a meeting. I said, "I'll take you, homie. Fuck it." I told my supervisor right then and there, "Hey, it's an emergency," and she's like, "Take him." So we head out. He's going through it on the phone. The paramedics are at his house. He passes me the phone because he can't even talk to the paramedics. I'm talking to the paramedics, and they're going, and I'm telling you, "Hey, dog, what's going on?" I'm telling them, "What's going on? Can you give us some information?" He's like, "I can't give you guys no information. You guys just need to get here. You need to get him here." The wife is barely coming from the hospital. Long story short, we get there. The baby, it was crib death. One
At
of
the
the
house.
worst experience I've ever been in my life, dog. To be able to see a grown man break like that, and it put me in my place. You know, like tomorrow's not promised. You know, not only do we have to show our children like great experiences, but we also have to enjoy our children and the people that we love, because life is really short when you think about it, and it could be gone in an instant.
Yeah.
And so enjoying my children, I guess, is one of the best things that I can possibly do with my life.
Yeah.
Because they're a gift. And if I'm not enjoying like those little moments when they bang on the door and they come in there and they say, "I found you," then what am I doing? You know what I mean? Because we can get frustrated about all these other things, but there's a saying, homie, an old saying that goes, "You don't know what you have until you lose it."
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose them.
Yeah.
You know? So that's one thing that I would like to leave to our audience, that
Right.
enjoy your children and enjoy the people that you love.
And like and respect the woman.
Respect the woman that gave birth to your children.
for sure. Like, cause how I see it, like I have there's three mothers, you know, that gave birth to my children, and like and the two that I'm not with, like I still care about them. You know what I'm saying? In that way that like I want the best for them, because what happens to them goes down to my child. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're feeling good, then my child's gonna feel good because they're right there with them. You know what I'm saying? So like I want the best for them, you know, because the best for them means the best for my child.
Hell yeah.
We sometimes get it twisted, and you run into homies or like, F them, F
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And I'm
nah.
thinking about like why would you say that, bro? Like that mother she's the mother of your child. And if you're like projecting all that negative energy on her, who do you think is gonna receive it?
Yeah.
Your child.
And it's just not right.
It's not right.
Period.
Yeah, period. Yeah.
You didn't carry the baby for 9
Yeah,
months, homie.
yeah.
With all due respect.
Yeah. But
She
even
did.
like homies that like they're not with each other no more, and like they're going through maybe child custody, or they're just going through dealing with a new man in their life, and they're not with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the common. I think that's the common thing in this society. Parents not being
Yeah.
together, and they're going at it. You know what I'm saying? But like it's like the only one that's suffering, bro,
It's the children.
is the children. And it's like, and we could say it's so simple, but that is just a common thing. And that's something that I didn't want, and
Yeah,
I
me
can't
neither.
speak of anybody else, but I can only speak of my experience. And from the gate, and we all slip, bro. We're not saying that we got it all together. No. That's not what it is. We are still learning, and things still piss us off, I would say, But at the end of the day, we are trying to be the best men that we could be
Hell yeah.
every day,
Hell yeah.
And it's this type of conversation, And if you're not willing to have this conversation, then you are not gonna push forward in a positive way. And why I thank old boy that wanted this was because this is something that is burning in everybody's souls,
Yeah.
but they don't have they don't have maybe the brothers and the sisters to talk about this, or they just can't get it out of them because it's a sensitive subject.
Mhm. I thought you were gonna say huevos right now, but that's Friedman too. The brothers to talk about it. I really thought you were gonna say huevos, but that's Friedman too. Anyway, I want to take the time too because it's important. That we do get it twisted sometimes.
Yeah.
We do get it twisted sometimes.
We
as
do get
men.
pissed off
You know,
sometimes, right?
And but these ideas,
Mm.
we talked about machismo a while back.
Right.
We talked about all these ideas, but the truth is, the woman gave birth, homie.
She had that
The
that
woman
ceremony.
gave birth to me.
That was
I
that
wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my mother.
Yeah. They went through that.
The mother of my children wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. And I just want to give a shout out and I want to thank you. Honestly, Aida Arellano,
Yeah.
I want to seriously thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Right. We don't
For
cherish
giving
her.
birth to my children and for the way that you're raising them.
Yeah.
Because without you, I don't know where I would be. Straight up.
And we don't cherish our women like that. Like when I want to go talk to that juvenile hall, and it was nothing but young girls, all in between the ages of 14, 15, and 16. And like you just look at these girls, bro, and like they're just broken, you know what I'm saying? Like our women today, especially in the city, you know what I'm saying, are not told that they are great, that are not told that they are princess, that are not told that they deserve to be loved, and they're not, bro, and this is the type of women that we're dealing with in our society. And like it's I think if we want to be strong men, you know what I'm saying, like we have to take care of our women like
Hell
that,
yeah, we do.
and our family like
Damn
that,
right. And not be ashamed to do
Right,
that.
right, yeah,
Be proud of who we are and be proud of before these ideas and before the experiences, this is what it was supposed to be.
Right.
Us honoring a woman, us
Right,
honoring
right.
the earth. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it's supposed to be. And how do we get there? We got to get back to like the basics and break stuff down. Like how you were being honest, Jay. Like we got to get honest as men.
yeah,
Why do I act the way I act? Like what's wrong? What's broken in me? Not what's wrong, but what's broken in me
yeah,
that dictates the way that I move and operate. that changes the way I view women. I got to get to those parts, those experiences as a kid growing up, not having a dad, or the dad that I did have, or whatever drama was in the home. I got to know my story. There's liberation in our stories. And so when we start breaking it down, then we're able to change. We're able to recreate our future. And that's what we want to do. And for us, but for our children as well.
Right.
And, that's why these conversations are so important, and we got to keep having them because I'm learning from them. I need to receive too. You guys have stuff. You guys have input, please.
right.
Give us your input on this conversation. Don't be afraid. No question is off limits. As long as it's respectful,
Right.
Ask. Give us your comments. If there's anything you think we should have added to this conversation, please send them in. We want to hear from you guys. We want you guys to we want to keep this conversation alive.
Was that it, Ali? In regards
Was
to
that it?
questions? Yeah.
So we want to thank you, Jay. Honestly, Sergio, for coming here and for getting honest and going
Yeah.
deep and sharing your experiences with us and sharing your passion for being a father, dog. Thank
Right.
you, and I thank you too.
Hey.
You know, because it's good to. It's like I'm walking among spiritual giants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
this is the stuff that's important. So I thank you, homie, too. All right.
Good one.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Have a great night.